Ghana's prisons are congested with remand inmates. According to legal experts, some convicts or remand prisoners may be innocent of the crimes they are charged with. They, however, end up in jail because they are unable to afford the services of lawyers to provide them with competent and effective legal representation. It is a fundamental international requirement that all persons must have equal access to justice and equal protection of the law. In order to arrest this situation, the law requires that everyone who is charged with a crime must be represented by qualified lawyers in court. However, whenever an accused person is unable to afford the services of a lawyer, the state of Ghana must offer some form of legal assistance to them. Unfortunately, the state has failed to meet this requirement. Some legal practitioners, realizing the plight of the helpless victims of circumstances, offer pro bono services. Pro bono legal services refers to free legal services, particularly for those who require them but cannot afford to pay. One such lawyer is Mr. Eric Delano Alifu of Help Law Ghana. He believes that no one must be punished for another person's sins or crime. He says any time an innocent person is jailed for the crime of another, the actual criminal is still out there plotting new crimes against the people of Ghana. According to the lawyer, it is important to mount pressure on the state security and law enforcement agencies to ensure that the people they prosecute are indeed those who committed the crimes they are charged with. To him, the only way to achieve this standard is for all accused persons to have competent and adequate legal representation, irrespective of their financial status.
What we need is a constitutional provision that would state that every person that is charged in the law court has a right to a lawyer of his choice. If the person cannot afford one, the state will provide one. You see, when we have something like that, then the state is obliged to provide a lawyer for everybody that is charged. But we don't have that once there's no constitutional provision. So people just go to court. They drag them all to court and they don't have lawyers and they jail them and nobody cares. Politicians also don't care. Our politicians, they don't talk about this.
Another lawyer who offers free legal services, Annette Binewa Educhum, says it is very important.
It's part of our duties as lawyers to help people who cannot afford legal services. So it is not that every lawyer should charge fees. Under normal circumstances, when somebody approaches you as a lawyer who does not have money to afford, you should be able to help. But you know, in nowadays, people, we've thrown that away and we are just towing one way, like collecting legal fees all the time, whether or not the person has money we like to. But then that is not what we are supposed to do as lawyers.
Recently, the Human Rights Court compensated one Francis Ejari who was jailed for 14 years for a crime he didn't commit.
Because I'm not a criminal, that's why I don't go to steal. You know, people, when I was there, people used to come back. When they decided, they come back. When they decided, they come back. But when I came outside, in fact, I faced life difficult. There are stigma. People don't want to see you.
If the police arrested you today, took you to court, you're remanded for 2 weeks, and you never saw, an opportunity to go back to court. And for over 14 years. This can happen to everyone.
In another case, a victim was charged with robbery and detained in custody for a year. But through proper legal representation, he was tried according to law and released.
This time I was under arrest. I said, for what? Charge. So they said the last night, which fall on the Friday, people came to the area to come and rob some woman, stole her mobile phone and this thing. And they raised the alarm. When they were running away, one of them cap fall down. And somebody said, that cap resembles my cap. That was where. And I said, so see, Adi, what you are asking me, does it make sense to you? And he slapped me. They locked me up. Monday, quickly they prepared to court. I have never been to police cell before. So the very day I appeared to the court, I was afraid totally. And they adjourned the case, remand us. The lawyer who is taking care of us that time didn't come to court, and he sent our Messiah to us, which is Lawyer Eric for us. In fact, by that time, all our money have finished. That time you don't even have money to give him to buy fuel, but you use his own money. When he come to court, you approach you and give you encouragement, talk to you, until one day he filed a motion for us, and then we got our bail.
He also pleaded with the police to conduct proper investigations whenever they arrest alleged criminals before they are punished.
Since it's their profession, when a case like this comes to them, I think they should be careful of investigating it. Make sure that they find nothing but the truth, instead of throwing innocent people to the jail all the time. You know, like this lawyer that have not intervened. Look at me, I don't know where I will be by now. Through this case, I even lost my wife. If somebody come to report a case like this, they should know something can be personal somewhere. You know, they should question the person and make sure they find the truth. If somebody is caught rare or you found guilty, should be dealt with. I don't have a problem with that, but the innocent is my problem.
But what motivated Mr. Eric Delano Alifo, the brain behind Help Law Ghana, to offer free legal aid?
To give back to society, to help mankind, to help those poor people who have not committed any crimes and yet find themselves in prisons just because they didn't have money to hire lawyers.
GBC 24 went to find out if the public is aware of government's responsibility to provide free legal aid in Ghana.
I know that if you go to court, we have government lawyers who are supposed to help probably assist any individuals to go through there. But I know that most of my brothers outside might not have this idea or know. So to be very fair, that the state takes it upon itself and that as part of the education program, maybe strengthen themselves on that.
I don't know if a person is in prison, the person should get a lawyer. If he or she has no lawyer, then it is the responsibility of the state to provide one.
I know that there's a program which is called Justice for All, where people can access justice. So yes, but I think that the problem is that the awareness, the education about it hasn't gone down well, so people are not aware.
No, this is the first time of hearing about that.
Per chance, I've spoken to some of the lawyers, which they make me understand that in the Constitution there is an act for such a thing. But currently I don't know whether it's working or it's not working, because the Ghana we are in now, the law favors, as people say, the rich, and then the poor are left out. So I'll plead with the government to do something so that the equality we are talking of now, that equality will come to play.
Both lawyers had a word for the government and their fellow lawyers.
The burden is on the government to make it known to the people that there is this institution. And the government should also fund some of us who are taking this thing upon ourselves, yes. Not paying for the legal services, but at least access to the courtrooms and filing documents for clients and all that. When he hears of us, he should at least help us to help the people of Ghana.
If you give legal aid to your relatives or to your friends or people who have money and can otherwise pay, I don't consider that as legal aid for which you should be boasting. I want lawyers to give these services to people who really need it. They may not know those people. They need it, they don't have money to pay.
Though challenges like lack of resources sometimes hinder progress, human rights activists say if government, other law firms and non-governmental organizations pool resources to support free legal services, it will go a long way to help those who cannot afford to pay for legal services.